Hey guys, this is Coach Brian. I'm going to be going over the 10-1, 10-2, and 10-3 quiz review. This covers all of the initial information from Unit 10, polygons, naming them, interior angles, exterior angles, and parallelograms. So to get started, let's talk about the 3 requirements to form a polygon. So the kind of short and sweet way that we've been saying it is that there's no gaps, no curves, and no overlaps. So when we say there's no gaps, it means you have to have a minimum of 3 sides. No curves, all sides are straight. And then no overlaps is just another way of saying like no intersections. So those are the rules that a figure must follow in order to be a polygon. Next, on our second figure, we have a parallelogram. All right, and this is what we learned about in 10.3. So one thing we know about parallelograms is that the opposite sides are congruent. And so what we're saying is that these 2 sides across from each other equal each other. And so we can just take the 2 sides and set them equal to each other, and then algebraically solve for x, which would give us 3. So x would be 3. And you could always double check your work by plugging it back in. 3 times 3 plus 6 equals 15. And both of those sides should equal 15. All right. Using our same rules to determine if these are a polygon, we're looking for gaps, curves, or overlaps. And in this first one, we have no gaps, no curves, and no overlaps. So since we have all 3 of those things, yes, it is a polygon. Now this next one can be a little confusing because you have like 2 individual things that are, on their own, they're polygons, but it's saying, are these 2 things together a polygon? And they are not, because they have a gap between them. So if I was looking at just the left triangle or just the right triangle, yeah, they are polygons. But when you look at them together, they have this big space in between. Lastly, is this oval a polygon? And it's not, because curves. All right, you cannot have curves. On this next section, we're going to be looking at different shapes, and we're classifying them by their number of sides and if they're concave or convex. So the first thing we want to do is count all the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a heptagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a decagon. Now, convex or concave. To be convex, all of the angles must go out from the center of the shape. So this first one, all of the angles go out, it's convex. But if you look at our second example, see how this goes in and that goes in? All you need is 1, but this shape has 2, and that makes it concave. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inward pointing angles, making this shape also concave. What is a polygon? What does it mean if a polygon's regular? It means 2 things. 1, has congruent sides. 2 has congruent angles. So all of the sides and all of the angles are equal to the other sides and angles. All right, what is a regular quadrilateral called? So first of all, it has 4 sides. Second, because it's regular, it has 4 congruent angles. And third, because it's regular, it's got all congruent sides. So when you have a 4-sided shape with 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles, we call that a square. All right, just real quickly, you need to know the polygons by their number of sides. So we have 3, that's a triangle. We have 4, that is a quadrilateral. 5 is a pentagon. 6 is a hexagon. 7 is a heptagon. 8 is an octagon. 9 is a nonagon. 10 is a decagon. 11 has a few different names that you could call it, but if you look it up, it's called a hendecagon because hendeca in Greek means 11. And 12 is a dodecagon. All right, question number 7 asks you to just put the equations for these things below. So the first thing is the sum of the interior angles on a convex polygon. This comes from 10.1. So does this one, sorry. This one comes from 10.2 and from 10.2. So the sum of the interior angles is going to be n minus 2 times 180. And then if that convex polygon is regular, meaning all of its angles are the same, you can find what each of them is by doing n minus 2 times 180 over n. And remember, n is the number of sides / angles. They should be the same number anyway. Let me make that look better. All right. Now the sum of the exterior angles of a convex polygon. This one's nice and easy because it doesn't matter how many sides there are. The answer is going to be 360 degrees. And then if it's regular, meaning all of its interior angles are the same, that means all of its exterior angles are going to be the same. And you can take 360 and divide it by the number of sides to get your exterior angles. Now, a lot of questions also give you, let me write it like this. A lot of questions give you the exterior angle and they want you to find the number of sides. So you can rewrite this as 360 divided by the exterior angle, and it will give you the number of sides. So you can use either one of those. They're the same equation, just rearranged. Next question. What is the sum of the exterior angles on a convex heptagon? Now, a heptagon does have 7 sides, but that doesn't matter when we're looking at exterior angles because the sum is always going to be 360 degrees. All right. Moving on to question number 9, we're looking at a parallelogram. So there's a lot of information about a parallelogram that we should know. we should know that its sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. We should also know that its opposite sides are congruent. We should also know that its opposite angles are congruent. And we should know that its diagonals, the lines that go from corner to corner, bisect each other, which means they cut in half. So that's a lot of information about parallelograms. But we're looking for three things here. We're looking for x, we're looking for angle BCD, and we're looking for angle ABC. So again, when you're looking at these angles, the middle letter is going to be your vertex. So specifically, we're looking for angle C, and we're looking for angle B. So the first thing we need to do is solve for x. And the place to do that is going to be using the information they gave us initially. So let me clear it off real quick. All right. As we're working through this, we have 32 plus 3x and x plus 60. And these angles are consecutive, which means they are supplementary. So if I take these two figures or these two values and I add them together, they should equal 180. So again, combine like terms. Things with x's can go together, so I have 3x and 1x, that gives me 4x. Things without x's can go together, so I have 60 and 32, that's 92. And together they equal 180. So now I'm just going to solve this algebraically. Subtract 92 from both sides. That leaves me with 88. 4x equals 88. Divide by 4. X equals 22. All right, now that I know that that equals 22, I can plug it in to both of my equations. Now, why would I want to plug it into x plus 60? X plus 60 is angle A, but it's across from angle C. And C is the one I'm looking for. And angles that are across from each other in a parallelogram are congruent. So if I do 22 plus 60 and I get 82, that's my measure for A, and it's my measure for angle C. And then lastly, I'm looking for angle B down here in the corner, looking for angle B. So angle B is going to be 32 plus 3 times x. X is 22. So that's 32 plus 66, which is 98. And to check your answer, these two numbers should be supplementary. 98 plus 82 equals 180. They are supplementary. All right, just a few more to go. Number 10 asks, what's the sum of the interior angles of a convex dodecagon? All right, so when I'm doing sum of angles, it's going to be n minus 2 times 180. That's for interior angles of a convex polygon. And in this case, a dodecagon has 12 sides. So if I set this up, it's going to be 12 minus 2 times 180 over 12. So working that out, it's going to be 10 times 180 over 12. And that will give me 1,800 over 12. And that answer will be 150 degrees. I think I did that wrong, actually. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Apologize. I know my students are going to be mad. I erased. I put the formula, then I used the wrong formula. Here's the formula, like I had it. You don't have to divide. It's the sum. So 12 minus 2 times 180, which is 1800. Now, what I was doing accidentally was doing each angle. If there was each and they were regular, meaning they were all the same, then you would do 1800 divided by 12, and that would give you 150 degrees. But that's not what the question was asking for, so that's bonus. All right. This next question says, find the number of sides. So I'm looking for n. I have a regular polygon, and that just means one. One interior angle is 140. So to set this up, I'm going to be using my individual angle formula. N minus 2 times 180 over n. And we're trying to solve for n, but we know that the answer to this equation is going to be 140 degrees. So this one we just have to solve algebraically. So first, I need to cancel out this n. Right now it's being divided, so I'm going to multiply. These will cancel out. No. So these will cancel out, and then the next thing I'll do is distribute. So I have 180n minus 360, that's what I get when I distribute here, equals 140n. Now, ultimately, I'm solving for n, so I've got to isolate it, which means I need to get all the n's on one side, all of the non-n's to the other side, and so I get this final step of 40n equaling 360, and I'll divide both sides by 40. N equals 9. So I have a 9-sided shape. It says, what type of polygon is this? That's a nonagon. Nonagon. All right, two more. One about interior angles, one about exterior angles. So the first one says that RSTU, and I think there's supposed to be a V there. RSTUV is a pentagon, so it has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're trying to find the measure of RST. So from R to S to T. Sorry, that was a little wonky there. Let me make that a little straighter. There we go. So we're trying to find this angle right here. We don't know what that is. And to do that, we need to find x. And to do that, we need to figure out what all of these angles, this one, this one, this one, this one, and the one I'm looking for, what should they all add up to? So what I can do is I can use my sum formula to figure out what they should all equal. And so it's got 5 sides, and 5 minus 2 times 180 is 540. So all of these 5 angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, should add up to 540. So do I know them all? I know an expression for this one, an expression for this one, an expression for this one, and I know that these are each 90. So I like to write out my work in stacks, and so what I mean by that is I'm going to start with 2x plus 29, and then I'm going to add, so I'm going to put a little check by that one. Next, I'm going to add x. Next, I'm going to add 3x minus 5. Then for these two, I'm just going to add 90 and 90. And so what I've got to do is I've got to go down this column of x's and add them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6x. And then I want to go down this other side. So again, just doing this mentally, I've got 90 and 90, that's 180. I've got 180 and 29, that's 209. And then I'm going to take away 5, and that's 204. So 6x plus 204 equals 540. And then once you have that written out, you can solve for x. So I'm kind of running low on room right here. So I'm going to, I guess I'll write it real tiny over here. 6x plus 204 equals 540. My first step is I'm going to subtract 204. That leaves me with 336. I've still got 6x over here. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. Divide by 6. And I get that x equals 56. So x is 56. And then it says, what is this angle? Well, this angle specifically that I'm looking for is 2 times x plus 29. And so 2 times 56 is 112. 112 plus 29 is 141 degrees. All right, now we've got one last problem, and it's actually going to be much faster. It is dealing with exterior angles, okay? Exterior. And exterior angles always have a sum. Exterior angles always have a sum of 360 degrees. So I know that these numbers need to add up to 360. Now, one kind of unique thing about this one is you can see this angle's on the outside. This one's on the outside. Outside, outside, inside. And so the first thing I need to do is figure out this angle so that I can figure out x. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to look at these two and see how they form a linear pair. That means they're supplementary. So whatever number goes here plus 82 has to equal 180. And so that number is 98. 98 plus 82 equals 180. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 4 angles that I know, and I'm going to subtract them all from 360. And so what that will do is leave me with whatever x is. So if I take 360 and I subtract 98, I subtract 80, I subtract 50, and I subtract 86, I get 46 degrees. The measure of angle 8 is 46 degrees. All right, I hope this helps you prepare for your test. Good luck and study hard.